This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. At the tail end of 2022, I was just about ready to sort of jack it in with amps in general. I've been using that year the HX Stomp XL Live for pretty much all of my gigs, and I still had a Mesa Boogie Nomad 45 at the time, and I think a Fender Pro Reverb, but I had sold pretty much all of my other amps. Through lockdown and stuff, I had gone on a bit of a random spree trying out loads of different things, from Orange Rocker Verbs to Mesa Boogie Road Kings to quite a few Mark series amps from Mesa Boogie. The main thing that I was interested in amplifiers was how much can I get for my money in terms of channels and channel switching, and how many different things does it have going on. What you'll notice about this amplifier is that it's kind of simple, and this basically changed my mind on amplifiers in a bunch of ways. So this really, I think it's probably the first proper single channel amplifier that I'd ever had. The first hand-wired thing as well. I paid £150 for this thing. It was built by Rift Amplifiers in the UK, but it was built as a April Fool's joke. But it is essentially a Matchless Lightning clone with a 6v6 power section. It showed me that A, amplifiers don't have to be heavy. B, that there is I think, quite a substantial difference that you can get from just plugging into a really simple amplifier without necessarily reverb built in, without loads of channel switching options, without loads of, bright switches, dip switches, and all that sort of stuff. I've been gigging this for most of the past 6 months. Really enjoyed it, and it is kind of, I think, been my favourite amplifier to gig for quite a while. I also used it on a jazz gig as well. So it is pretty versatile, actually. I'm going to show you some of the tones from it. In that introduction there, I was just using this with a Mesa Boogie EV open back speaker and a Boss Blues driver at one point, which you would have seen me turning on. There's really nothing much to this. It's a Vox-inspired circuit, essentially, but with a different power section. Yeah, it's made me think maybe a Matchless Lightning would be a cool amplifier to own, but I'm never likely to buy one, I don't think. But this little thing, the Zilla built me the head shell, which I really appreciate. But it's nice and lightweight. It doesn't have to break your spine to have a tube amp, is basically what this shows. I think also there's fairly common Matchless Lightning schematics up online, as far as I know. So it doesn't look like it's the trickiest build ever. This might be a candidate potentially for the sort of thing that, budding amp builders and people that know their way around a soldering iron could build one of these relatively cheaply, I'd imagine. And it also kind of another thought is that you can buy non-name amplifiers, whether you buy a kit from Modulus or whatever, and you can pick these things up for a little bit cheaper than if it's had, a Matchless brand on it. And it sounds in many ways, well, I don't know, I haven't compared it to a Matchless, but I can't imagine it sounding worlds better than this. This, to me, sounds really incredible. But yeah, it kicked basically all of my channel switching amps out of the house. It taught me that I can gig an amplifier without a broken spine. Taught me that effects loops maybe aren't necessary. Taught me that maybe you don't need a drive channel. Maybe if you plug into a really good clean channel, you can get great stuff with pedals. And it taught me that there is definitely still value in tube amps, using them live anyway. So it changed a lot of things for me. Here's a bit of it through a load box, because I thought that's a way that I can crank this amp and show you some of the character of it without losing the house. If you have an amplifier that sort of changed your mind in that way, something like a Princeton, something like a Deluxe Reverb. I've never actually played a Deluxe Reverb, and I think that's something that I'd quite like to change in a way. Or something that tore you back away from the modelling world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is there something that would still do that for you? This is a Matchless Lightning style amplifier, but with 6v6s in the power section. Now, I looked online. Sonic Audio has a really good video comparing an AC15 and Matchless Lightning. I think this is probably not quite as close as a Matchless Lightning to the AC15 because of the different power section, but in any case, it's a really simple amplifier, and it's sort of really changed my mind on quite a lot of things. I didn't necessarily think that I was A, into Vox style amplifiers, B, into amps really anymore as it is, and it kind of took me totally away from the channel switching mode of operating that I've been in for basically my whole life since having a Marshall AVT. So this is essentially, you can see, a master volume amplifier, which is handy. We stay clean up to about 2 on the gain. And although we don't have loads of settings, it is actually pretty versatile. Just plugged in with a Strat here, and I've got the Fractal X-Load up here. But so you can hear, that's basically how I've been using it live generally. I set it as clean as I can get, and then as you crank the master a bit, relatively powerful bass and treble control. I think I've probably got a bit of a high cut on my cab here, so if I open that up a bit to sort of 8 kilohertz. But we've actually got loads of gain available with this thing, so let's keep the master a bit lower and the gain here now. I think we do have quite a bit more gain even. Let's get up to 8 here. And as we really crank it, this is probably louder than I'd ever go with it in terms of gain. And we could probably you can hear there that you start to bring in some power amp kind of saturation. Really cleaning up really nicely there on the bridge pickup. But again, for me, I'm never really running it anywhere near that loud. I personally... And I'm pairing it in real life with an EVM 12 speaker. Of course, I think that's a big part of what determines the Vox tone generally, is pairing it with either an Alnico Blue or a Greenback. But if you pair it with a different type of speaker, you get quite a different sound. And for me, this is really round and full, and I love it. That's the amp for me that has changed things, because it's got such a beautiful kind of responsive, clean tone. and you know, if I want more drive, I can crank it up and get incredible drive tones as well. But it's really kind of opened my eyes that some of the clean tones that I've been used to on channel switching amps are kind of not as special as I once thought they were. Let me know if there's any amps out there that change your opinion and the way you think about amps. I'd love to know your thoughts. This comes from Rift Amps, this one. As I said, I paid 150 quid for it. The head shell was from Zilla, who kindly made that for me. So thanks for that. But yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of a video on this amplifier. Cheers for stopping by.